I've been striving to lead a simpler, more intentional life, and that's meant cutting down on my digital and material consumption to live with more focus. But for it to truly be my life, I also have to make room for my love of technology. And that can be hard when we hear so much about the hold that big tech, streaming services and smartphones have over us. I'll get to why I feel some quarters have over-exaggerated that for their own gain later on in the video. But really the question at the heart of all this is, can you still love technology and live a simpler life? Let's get into it. The other day we went down to Calderstones Park in Liverpool. It's a beautiful historic park in the south of the city and it's steeped in history. There's Georgian architecture, a 1,000-year-old oak, and even Neolithic stones that date back perhaps even before Stonehenge. As you walk around a place like that, you can't help but feel a deep sense of connection to where you are and where you are in time. So many people have been through that space and left their own unique mark on it. That thought alone really puts me at ease, and in a way it's the driving force behind the desire to lead a simpler, more contemplative life that sometimes technology doesn't allow. But at the same time, I feel a similar sense of reverence for well-designed machines and user experiences that really bring value to my life. Say what you want about Apple, I absolutely love their aesthetic and the way that I feel when I'm working or creating on my MacBook or my iPad mini. And as I've taken time to really appreciate the design choices and the technical innovations that have gone into these machines, it's just made that feeling grow. I'm sure we can all massively appreciate the way that technology has allowed us to stay in touch with our loved ones, stay safe and stay in work throughout this pandemic. But I also love the fact that it gives me a form of expression and that I've been able to spend the last 10 months or so actually creating stuff instead of just sitting there waiting for this to all blow over. The digital world may never offer the same depth of connection that we feel when we go out into the world and explore places like Calderstone Park, but it offers an unprecedented breadth of connection. Of course, in many ways, the digital world has been a destructive force on our social and public lives, but ultimately it's just a tool, and all tools created by humans are just an extension of humanity, whether we like it or not. The problem arises when we allow ourselves to go into consumption mode too much of the time, and that's hard to do when many of these technologies have flipped the script and made you an extension of them rather than the other way around. We can absolutely live with technology, but we have to approach it with an intentional mindset. And so I'd say rather than being a dichotomy, intentional living and technology actually go hand in hand, because it all starts with that mindset of taking control of your life and being aware of the things that are going to throw you off course. And this is where my criticism of some of the reporting around the addictiveness of smartphones and smart technology comes into play. We really have to demand that some of technology's biggest critics keep their own house in order before they completely write off new technologies. I'm sure many of you will have seen The Social Dilemma, which is a Netflix documentary that uncovers some of the emotional and physical triggers that social media plays upon in order to get you hooked. If not, go ahead and watch it, and I'm sure you'll find that a lot of the topics covered are really helpful and can give you a lot more awareness in terms of how you use these platforms. But while you're watching it, don't forget that Netflix has one of the most effective algorithms out there, and everything about The Social Dilemma, from the image that you clicked on to get into the film, the narrativization and the use of well-known actors, are there to make sure that you watch the whole thing. For me, one of the big differences between something like Netflix and something like Instagram is that you can actually create on Instagram and you can build a business with it. That's very difficult to do with Netflix. And as usual, it doesn't come down to an extreme yes or no. On the one hand, you can criticize technology for creating barriers and friction on our road to living a more meaningful and mindful life. On the other hand, which I'm going to show you now, technology can be an amazing tool to actually help you get more in touch with the person that you want to be. So this is how I use technology to slow down, and it's all about knowing the role that a specific item or software is going to play in adding something to my life rather than adding friction. Take noise cancelling headphones, for example. They've absolutely transformed my ability to enter a state of flow, because I'm no longer distracted by random sounds that I hear around the house, in the office, or in my commute. Before noise cancelling headphones, I could never get anything done because I just really could not focus on one thing. I used to waste so much money on low quality earphones that broke after 2 months, and gave me a really bad experience while I was actually using them. At one point I realised that if I just bought a good pair that I really liked and wanted to take care of, then I wouldn't be wasting my money and my time every 2 months replacing a pair that I really didn't like. And these days I really appreciate that there are different kinds of headphones for different use cases. I personally use the Powerbeats Pro whenever I'm going for a run, and that actually makes me want to run more because I enjoy the experience of those earphones so much. The Apple Pencil isn't perfect, but when you're using it, you adopt a different register that can really enable deep, slow, considered thought. And that's something that I've really grown to love on my iPad mini. You can actually put some tech to good use right now and hit that like button to help me get the word out about this channel. I actually have a slow living playlist which I'm going to put up there right now so that you can browse some of my other videos on this subject. And if I've struck a chord with you, then let me know if you want to see some deeper dives into intentional tech. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that video when it does come around. The bottom line is, if we can all learn to build tech into our lives more intentionally rather than building our lives around tech, then we can lead much more fulfilling lives. And we can put these tools to good use and make positive changes to the world, even if it's only tiny ones that affect 1 or 2 people. Going into creation mode, putting your thoughts out there, embracing other ideas. I think that's what life's all about. And I think tech allows us to do it if we use it properly. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.